Premier League, Premier League, Premier League. As you guys can see, I'm not wearing a Premier League kit. I'm wearing a Bayern Munich kit because I'm a Bayern Munich fan. And I wanted to speak a little bit about Bayern Munich. But mainly, the reason I wanted to speak about Bayern Munich is also the way I'm going to be speaking about the Premier League and the issues that they are having right now. You know, first and foremost, I want to start with that I watch, honestly, me personally, as even a Bayern Munich fan, I'm bored of my league, okay? This is a me issue. This is a me person issue. I don't care what the rest of the Bayern Munich fans have to say. I don't care what the rest of the Bundesliga fans have to say. Me personally, I watch more Premier League matches than Bundesliga matches. I'm being honest. I watch every Bayern Munich game, and then I watch the occasional other Bundesliga games that I think are interesting to watch. Will I watch Heidenheim versus, I don't know, Mainz? No. But just the same way I wouldn't watch Burnley versus Leeds, for instance. Anyway, just to speak in this for the sake of speaking, I wanted to also say that Premier League is pretty much the Super League to begin with. It is the league that pulls in the most amount of viewers, and when you pull in the most amount of viewers, you get the most amount of money. It is simple math. 1 + 1 = 2. Now, if this was the Bundesliga, of course, and everyone was watching the Bundesliga, then there would be more money in the Bundesliga. Obviously, the amount of money that has been coming into the Bundesliga has been going down, or it is predicted to go down, but that's just how life is, and that's just what happens when one team is obviously the most dominant team and the sheer difference between how huge and how big Bayern Munich is compared to, for instance, the 17th or 15th place of in the Bundesliga there's a huge gap this huge gap is also very huge in the Premier League. And I wanted to speak a little bit about what is going on with the Premier League. Why is the team or the league that gets the most amount of money, why are they struggling to compete? Why is this? And it has always been this way for the past 20, 30 years. I've been around for like 20 something years now, and I've been watching football for like 15 years. That's like almost 2 decades soon. And I've been watching football for almost 2 decades. And in those 2 decades, Premier League teams have been the teams that have, been humiliated in the biggest of stages. No matter how much money they spend, they always get humiliated. They always can't seem to hack it in the biggest of stages, and it's very dark. I've never seen the Premier League go winless in the first leg. Like, I'm speaking about every Premier League team that is in the brackets or the knockout phases. I've never seen that happen. And yesterday and the day before, that was the first time I saw it. Spurs, for instance, is a very sad state of affairs to see. It's a club that I wouldn't even say of that stature, but a club that is quite respected. They have always been in the top 6, and when everyone speaks about the big 6 in the Premier League, of course, they are number 6, and even the Spurs fans know it. But it's a team that takes pride in what they do, and it's a team that is expected to actually live up to their name of being a part of the big 6. And the way they've been playing and almost going on their way out, and getting humiliated by the third place in the La Liga, Atletico Madrid, in a fashion that is unheard of, is very sad. I mean, when they play and you look at Spurs players, it just looks like there's YouTubers on the field. It literally looks like it's a charity match, and it's very sad to watch that. But it is what it is, and bear in mind, Spurs spent a lot of money as well this season. And the transfers they brought in. They brought in Kolo Muani, they brought in Matisse Tel, they brought in Palinha, they brought in, who else did they brought in? Kolo Muani, Xavi Simons. They brought in a lot of players, and even though they brought in a lot of players, look at the result of it all. Am I right? Look at the result of it all. This is the kind of sadness I'm speaking about. We also have Arsenal, for instance, drawing against Bayer Leverkusen, the same team that pretty much got looted and every single player snatched from them, besides from a couple of few players. They drew against them, and I think that was a lucky draw. Me personally, I think that was a lucky draw. That's the type of stuff I'm speaking about. The Premier League, there's a high possibility that the Norwegian, my country, will have the same amount of Champions League spots as England, the Premier League, the same Premier League that has the most amount of views, that gets in the most amount of money, that spends the most amount of money in the world, and also is a Super League. There's a reason the Premier League also, or the Premier League teams rejected the idea of a Super League. And the reason they did that is because the Premier League already gets the money. Most of the money that, football fans give to these huge organizations, most of the huge chunk comes to the Premier League anyway. And that's why they didn't want to partake in a Super League, because then they're giving the same amount of power to a team like Bayern Munich, to a team like AC Milan, to a team like Inter Milan, and to teams like even Barcelona and Real Madrid. I mean, you have seen it yourself. La Liga has been struggling financially. They have this weird 10 million market cap or whatever it's called. They have some weird restrictions going on. On top of that, they also, Barcelona struggle with, registering players all the time and not having any players in, so they have to sell different players. They have to terminate contracts. They're terminating contracts of the women's team just so that they can facilitate registering some male player that they signed. You see the kind of complications that the other leagues have to compete with. But even with all of this, somehow, some way, these leagues are still competing against the Premier League when it comes to the big teams. Bayern Munich is still competing against the likes of Arsenal, the likes of City. And you could even say that Bayern Munich will most likely win against these teams. And I think Bayern Munich is an example of itself, because they are what some people call the Farmers League, and where they are pretty much dominating, so they don't really need to outfill the same amount of players every single time. So I get it. So we can put Bayern Munich to the side. Me as a Bayern Munich fan, I'll put my team to the side, and I can even speak about Real Madrid, the same team that has so many injuries, that is injury ridden. It just smacked up Manchester City 3-0. It could have been 4, it could have been 5. You guys saw the game. We all saw the game. I rewatched the game because it was that good. I was mind boggled. If you guys look back into my prediction, I thought Real Madrid was going to be walked over. They don't have their main players. Most of their players are injured. They don't have a coach. And I thought, you know what? And they've been performing poor overall in the season. And I really genuinely thought Manchester City will be winning it. And guess what? Real Madrid somehow turned into Real Madrid, which is so shocking. When you look at player for player, pound for pound, Manchester City should have won it. And somehow Real Madrid won. Same goes for Bayer Leverkusen versus Arsenal. Player for player, there's no discussion there. Somehow Arsenal didn't win against them, and they won by a lucky penalty. That wasn't even a penalty, to be honest. You look at Spurs versus Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid haven't even used that much money this season. Who did they bring in? Lookman. I think the only player they brought in was maybe Lookman and another player. I don't remember his name. But they also had to sell some players. And look at them. Spurs spent more money on their team than Atletico Madrid did, but somehow they got smacked up the way they did. I mean, for goodness sake, before half-time, someone from the staff or the players were making food for themselves. They were making sandwiches. While they were playing. I mean, that's the type of stuff I'm speaking about. So we have Chelsea that got humiliated by PSG, even though the game was quite close. The stat line obviously says otherwise. And when we look at this 15 years down the line, 10 years from now, people are not going to say, oh, but it was a close game. People will look at it, they'll look at the scoreline, they'll see 5-2, they will look at the highlight, and they'll say, you know what, PSG was the better team. You'll look at 1-1 Arsenal versus Bayer Leverkusen. You'll look at the teams, you will see the stat, you will see the lineup, and you will say, what? This is the type of team Arsenal is struggling against. Same goes for the Spurs versus Atletico Madrid. You look at this team sheet and you will say, no way, this is the same Spurs that lost to Atletico Madrid. How did this happen? And you would even say that same thing once again, same script. Newcastle versus Barcelona. Draw? How the hell did that happen? Lamine Yamal last minute. Penalty. What? You see what I mean? Newcastle. Newcastle is the only team that can come out of all of this. Out of all the other Premier League teams, Newcastle is the only team that can come out of this proud. Because everyone really genuinely thought Newcastle didn't have a chance. And somehow, some way, there was a period where I really thought Newcastle won that game. So for that, I would say good job to Newcastle. Good job, Newcastle. You are the only team from the Premier League people should be giving props to this week. And most of your players should be in the team of the week. Except for if it's Bayern and Bodo Glimt. But that's besides the point. I'm just looking at this, and look at City. We can literally pull out the City versus Real Madrid team sheet, and you can go player for player, and you can discuss who is better at what field. Okay, let's just do it for the sake of it, for the sake of the argument. Let's look at each player and let's go pound for pound. So Courtois versus Donnarumma. I mean, Donnarumma has been the best goalkeeper this season. No, last year actually. Last year. This year, I wouldn't say he's the best goalkeeper. Honestly, Thibaut Courtois, I would give it to him because this year, Thibaut Courtois is the only thing that is still keeping Real Madrid intact. Okay, Ruben Dias, Marguehi. That's one. The other team is Rudiger versus Dean Huijsen. Dean Huijsen has been abysmal this season. And Rudiger, he's not better than Ruben Dias. So already 2-0 or 2-1. We have Nico O'Reilly on one side. They have Ferland Mendy on the other. That's a very interesting debate. You have Alex Trent on one side, Kusanov on the other. Trent wins that one. You have Rodri in the middle as a lone pivot. They have Pina and Chouameni in there. Come on, man. What are we doing here? Rodri. We have Jeremy Doku. They have Valverde. You have Bernardo Silva. They have Savinho, and you have Arda Güler and Brahim Diaz. Honestly, you look at this team from the Manchester City, you see Semenyo, you see Haaland, you see Doku, you see Savinho, you tell yourself, no way. They put in, Cherokee, they have Omar Mamouche in there, they have Ryan Nouri, they have Tijani Reinders, MVP last year for Serie A, by the way, in the Serie A for AC Milan last year. Let's not forget that. And you see on the other side, who do you see? Who am I going to be scared of when I look at the team sheet? Am I going to be scared of Arda Güler? No. Am I going to be scared of Brahim Diaz? Maybe. Am I going to be scared of Valverde? No. Am I going to be scared of Trent? Especially not this season. Am I going to be scared of Rudiger? No. Am I going to be scared of Dean Huijsen? No. Am I going to be scared of Chouameni? To some extent. And Courtois? Yes. Vinny? Yes. Two players that is guaranteed scary. They normally have Rodrigo in there. ACL. They have Mbappe in there. Has a surgery run on. They have Bellingham in there. Injured. That's what I'm speaking about. And that Real Madrid won 3-0 against Manchester City. Bear in mind, guys, this is the same Real Madrid that was struggling against Celta Vigo. This is the same Real Madrid that I think lost to Getafe. The same Real Madrid that lost to Getafe is now winning against Manchester City. This is what I'm speaking about, guys. Premier League teams, when it comes to stepping up and everyone is watching them in the big screens, somehow, some way, they struggle. This decade, okay, fair enough. This decade has just been pretty much PSG, Real Madrid, Manchester City, Liverpool. Liverpool was 2019. Bayern Munich, and who else won it? You know what I'm saying? There's only and Chelsea. So Chelsea and Manchester City are the only two Premier League teams that won this decade. If you go back to the previous decade before then, who is in there? One Liverpool. You go back 2 decades, there's a Manchester United in there. There's a Liverpool in there. And I think that's it actually. So overall, when you look at the totality of how long the Champions League has been around, Premier League teams have genuinely not been the teams that normally perform well. Sure, they go far into the knockout stages. Sure, they go far even to the finals. But the thing is, the Premier League teams always tend to struggle when the big stage is there. And fair enough. The sheer quality in their league in itself is amazing. But when you look at every team and compare it to other teams that are also champions and respective, the best teams in their respective leagues, they're very hard to differentiate, even though Bayern Munich, for instance, doesn't use that much money compared to how much Liverpool used. $500 million, $500 million, I might add, $500 million on transfers. And if you look at pound for pound, who's the better team? Somehow Bayern Munich is the better team. I don't know, man. Premier League has so many problems, so many issues, but at the end of it all, it is still the best league, if we're going to be honest here. I don't think anyone is going to deny that. I watch the Premier League. I mean, Premier League is the most competitive league in the world. I'm not going to lie and tell everyone, no, Premier League is shit, just because their players doesn't somehow step up in the big stages. I just think it's a Premier League issue. I think it's just a team issue. And also, I think on top of that, it is also just pressure. I just don't think most of their players can hack the pressure. But I just don't know. It's that weird Premier League psyche. I don't get it, man. Is it fatigue? Is it because they're getting overplayed? Is it because it's the same 11 playing every single week? I don't know. The problem is Premier League, once again, they are embarrassing themselves on the big stages. And once again, the other teams, and somehow potentially Norway, Elite-division, Eliteserien, I might add. Eliteserien, the Norwegian top flight division, might have the same amount of spots, Champions League spots, I might add, as the Premier League this season. That's all I'm gonna say. Do you know how crazy that sounds? Please, just lock in your head just listen to this. Bodø Glimt might just be responsible, potentially, where a Premier League side table will have the same amount of spots as the Eliteserien, the Norwegian one. That's when you know things are going crazy over here. But yeah, comment down below in the comments what you guys think. Comment down below what your thoughts are about this situation, and comment down below if I'm even cooking. You might disagree with me and I might get 20 dislikes. I'm so used to getting so many dislikes in this channel that I don't even care. I love being polarizing. When I spoke about Ruben Amorim, I had Nigerians sending me private messages telling me, hey, what you're saying is completely wrong. Brother, comment it on the YouTube. Let everyone know what your thoughts are, because right now I'm the one that's looking like I'm in the right. And I might be in the right once again because I don't be missing a lot. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you a lot probably in the weekend. And I might go to a Bayern Munich game. I don't know. You guys might watch my next huge video might be outside vlogging. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, peace.